In August 1989, Michael Jackson turned 31 years old. Recent years had not been easy for him. Family pressures and demands, as well as career concerns, seemed to keep him at a continuous rate of anxiety. Though he had left home, he really never left the womb. As much as he tried to shun his family, except for Catherine, he just could not seem to do it. Mostly because they wouldn't cooperate in that regard. They just keep coming back for more. Somehow their problems always ended up his. Despite the fact that he was now in his 30s, many people in his circle felt that Michael had never grown up, that he was still an adolescent at heart, playing with his teenage male friends and entertaining handicapped youngsters as political estate. He liked wearing his many disguises and was agitated when people pointed him out. Not so much because he didn't want to be identified as because he had left home because thinking he had such a swell costume. No one should ever have been able to recognize him. Visiting Disneyland, Disney World, and Universal Studios was still his favorite leisure time activity. Fantasy was a major part of his life. In the career front, there had been much discussion as to how to follow bad. Just as when it was attempting to conceptualize a successor to Thriller, Michael was concerned about competing with himself. Bad had not sold as many copies as Thriller, and Michael was disappointed. Still, rather than trying to compete with the previous two albums by issuing another one of the new material, John Brigga convinced Michael that he should release a greatest hits collection titled Decade, which would also include a few new songs. It was a good idea. It would take some pressure off Michael at a time when he did need a break in his life. Michael intended to deliver Decade to the Sony Corporation CBS Records parent company in August of 1989. It was scheduled to be released in November, in time for the Christmas sales rush. I want more money than anyone else has ever gotten, Michael told John when the attorney began negotiating with CBS Records for the new album. John did not let him down. He arranged an $18 million advance, which was, indeed, more money than anyone else has ever gotten. The deal included a $15 million straight advance, which CBS would recoup from Jackson's royalties before he would make a profit on the album, and a non-recoupable $3 million, which was a gift for Michael from his label. On each of these three albums deals, John Barca negotiated for Michael Jackson at CBS. He succeeded in getting for Michael $3 million as a bonus. Prior to the latest Michael Jackson deal, the Rolling Stones, who were also represented by John Brega, held the record for the most lucrative contract, with $5 million plus per album, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Billy Joel had $1.7 million as an advance at the time. Bruce Springsteen, $2.5 million, and Madonna $1 million before bonuses, which could make it several times that. Michael Jackson's album royalty was 41 points. That what means in terms of percentage of retail, sales varies with each formula, from CD to tape to disc. However, the album came to approximately 25% of the retail price of each record. Michael's 25% translated to $2.50 per album sold. However, when the $3 million non-recoupable gift was added to Michael's royalty rate, it actually jumped to about 29% of retail. To put Jackson's royalty into perspective, Madonna made 18% of the time. Most other acts of superstar status made 12%. In its entirety, Michael's new deal with CBS will be worth as much as $50 million because, in addition to the advance and non-recoupable gift, John Bracken had negotiated a joint business venture with the company. According to that arrangement, CBS would finance a custom label for Michael Jackson. A subsidiary of CBS Records would be Janet Jackson's Records, Shades of Joseph, which Michael would oversee. CBS would provide 100% of the funding for the new label and then split the profit equally with Michael, who also owned half the stock and thereby be entitled to half the assets of the label was ever sold. That was a coup for Michael and still yet another tribute to John Brecken's masterly negotiating skills. Since Janet Jackson had constantly called upon her brother for advice and guidance, John felt that she would be the most logical choice as first artist to sign to the label. Michael was elated to the possibility. It didn't happen though. Instead, Janet signed a contract with Virgin Records for an estimated $32 million. When finalized in March 1981, it was said to be the largest recording contract in history, but these deals were always said to be just that. There's always a way to calculate ambiguous figures and money not yet earned but projected in such a way to make many decent big money record deal the largest in history. Hello to you. And the final cut the gross for Michael as far as decade was concerned. John Brecken negotiated a $5 million advance from Warner Terminally Publishing Corporation and Warner Brothers Publishing arm that administers the copyrights to Jackson's songs. Michael owns all his copyrights. Warner Terminally has no ownership, but for a small fee, the company does collect money generated by publishing deals around the world involving his compositions. For an artist, $5 million is a huge advance from a music publishing company. Most superstars get about 1 million. All of the pieces of the puzzle were in place for a tremendous decade kickoff. However, by January 1990, it was obvious that Michael would fail to deliver decade. He was ambivalent about the format where was some confusion as to which songs to include in it. The original plan was for the package to consist of 4 cuts from Off the Wall, 7 from Thriller, 6 from Bad, 3 to 5 new songs, State of Shock that had to do it with Mick Jagger, Heartbreak Hotel, Someone in the Dark from Michael's Itinerary album, Come Together, and 2 vintage Motown songs that Michael was remastering. However, Michael kept vacillating about the plan, and in the end, his close friend, entertainment mogul David Giffen, finally talked him out of putting out the album together. Rather, Michael would produce an album of new material. The deal John Brecken negotiated for him at CBS and with Warner Timberland applied to any product Michael chooses to issue. Here we go again. John Brecken must have thought.